Hey ELV, it's Miss Emily again. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about our library scavenger hunt that we will have as soon as you all come back to school. What this is a way for you to learn how to read the library shelves and to locate books on your own without the help of a teacher. We are going to focus on the fiction section of our library. I only have two library books here with me because these are books that Carter, my son, checked out from the library, and I don't have any other ones to share with you. But this is okay because these are two that I needed because we have two different types of books in our fiction section at school, and you will see the different types on the call numbers of the library books. What I mean is at the bottom of the spine of our library books in the fiction section, you will see a call number. Now, this is made up of letters, right? Not numbers, but they still call it a call number. In the call number, you will see either an F at the top of the call number, or you will see an E at the top of the call number. E stands for Everybody Books. What that means is that these are picture books that any grade level might enjoy. You will see when you open up an Everybody book, you will see a lot of neat pictures. When you open up the books that have an F on the call number, you will see more words. The F stands for fiction, and these are usually chapter books. So you will either find an F at the top of the call number in the fiction section, or you will find an E. Now, our F and E books are mixed together. There's not a separate section for each one, except for chapter books. We do have a whole section that is devoted to chapter books. So when you're reading a call number, if you see an E at the top, it typically means it's a picture book and it is for anybody. And underneath that, you will see three letters. The three letters on this book are W-I-L, and those three letters are the first three letters of the author's last name. So this book was written by Mo Willems, W-I-L. Willems starts with W-I-L. Those are the first three letters of Mo Willems' last name. So if I'm looking for a Mo Willems book, I'm going to go to the W section, and then I will try to find W-I-L books because that's Mo Willems' first three letters of his last name. Now, this book, this chapter book, in our library at our school, it would be in the chapter book section. But because this is from Hearn, I'm not sure how her books are organized over there, but I do know that if it has S-T-I at the bottom of the call number, that those must be the first three letters of the author's last name. And sure enough, this book was written by R.L. Stine. S-T-I are the first three letters of R.L. Stine's last name. So if I wanted to find an R.L. Stine book, we don't have any in our library, I'm sorry, but if I wanted to find one of his books, I would go to the S section, and then I would look for S-T-I. The books in the fiction section are in alphabetical order. That means they are in ABC order. And we all know our ABCs now, so it's the perfect time to start learning how to read the shelves in the library. You would start with the A's, and in our library, the A's are over next to where the chapter books are. And then it would go A's, B's, C's, D's, and so on, all through the whole alphabet. So this is an example of what the shelves look like in our library. They have a label at the top, and in this section, this is the S section of library books. And then under the S's, you would find all of the library books whose author's last name starts with the letter S. So I see that I have S-A-R, then S-C-O, then S-H-A, S-P-I, then S-T-A. So all of those books are written by an author whose last name starts with S. Then I have to look at the second letter, and those are going to be in alphabetical order too. A, C, H, P, and then T. I don't expect you to be able to do that yet, but if you were looking for a David Shannon book and the librarian tells you go look for S-H-A for David Shannon, then the first thing you need to look for is the S's. And then if you know that his last name starts with S-H-A, you can go through and look at the call numbers until you find the one that says S-H-A. Underneath this S section is the T section because T comes right after S in the alphabet. And the way you read library shelves is just like reading a library book. You start on the left and you read to the right, then you return sweep and read left to right again. Now we're pretending like this is another shelf in the library. So I went left to right, I returned sweep, left to right, and if this was like another page in my book, I would go up to the top again and read left to right. Now I want you to see if you can find the problem in the U section of the library books. If you notice, there is one book that is not in the right place. It is this book. This book has C-A-R. That book does not belong in the U section of the library. That book belongs in the C section. So now we know why it is so important to put the books back in their home. Instead of putting this book in the C section, this book has ended up in the U section. So now if anybody wanted to find this book, they wouldn't be able to find it in the library because it's in the wrong section of the library. So remember to use those shelf markers and to put the books back right where they belong. Another thing I wanted to show you is that sometimes library books will have the exact same call number. If you notice, it says E-U-N-D. That means either that the same author wrote those two books or that the two different authors both have a last name that starts with U-N-D. And sometimes the shelves will not be completely full. For instance, there's the V section and there's only 2 books in the V section. But that's okay because that might mean that there's only 2 authors in our library whose last name begins with the letter V. In fact, we don't even have a Q section in our library because we don't have any books by authors whose last name starts with the letter Q. This is what our library scavenger hunt will look like. You will receive a call number for the fiction section, and you will have to try to find it with your partner to locate those books in our library. So if I am looking for a book by Eric Carle, I am going to look in the C section because his last name starts with the letter C. His last name actually starts with C-A-R, car. And the E just means that his books are everybody books. He writes a lot of picture books, so his books are E for everybody books. This is Mo Willems' call number. His books start with his last name starts with W-I-L for Willems. They are E books, E for everybody. So I would look in the W section for Mo Willems' books. David Shannon is the one that writes the No David books or A Bad Case of Stripes. And his last name starts with S-H-A, Shannon. So I am going to look in the S section for David Shannon books. Now, this is the Jeannie B. Jones author. Jeannie B. Jones is written by Barbara Park. Jeannie B. Jones is a chapter book. So I would look in the chapter book section, but it's going to have an F at the top of the call number. F stands for fiction. And then at the bottom it says PAR. PAR is actually the first 3 letters of Barbara Park's last name. Barbara Park is the one who wrote the Junie B. Jones books. So that's the author of the Junie B. Jones books. Barbara Park. So PAR is the first 3 letters of her last name. Now here's the Magic Tree House author. Her call number is going to look like this. It has an F for fiction because that is chapter books. She writes chapter books. And then OSB, those are the first 3 letters of the author's last name. Her name is Mary Pope Osborne. So OSB are her first 3 letters of her last name. And then this one is the Junie Moody call number. Her last name, the last name of the author is McDonald. It's Megan McDonald. She wrote the Judy Moody books, and her first 3 letters of her last name are MCD for McDonald. The F just stands for fiction because she writes chapter books. So I hope that helped. That quick little introduction to the library scavenger hunt that we're going to have, and to navigating our library shelves in the fiction section. I can't wait to see you guys. See if you can figure out what your call number would be if you were an author of library books. For instance, my last name is Siemens, so I might have an E for everybody at the top. And underneath that, Siemens is spelled S-I-E-M-E-N-S. So my first 3 letters would be S-I-E. I hope you guys had fun, and I miss you all. I can't wait to see you all again soon. Bye.